Hi friends, welcome back to INSEE's Imaginative World. Hi friends, thank you for watching INSEE's Imaginative World storytelling and welcome to another story. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what is a rainbow and why do we sometimes spot a rainbow in the sky? Have you ever thought about that? Who invented a rainbow? So come along with me and listen to another story. SPIKBOW spots a rainbow. SPIKBOW is seated in his garden looking at the vast sky above. The sun was shining bright, the white fluffy clouds moving slowly. He spotted beautiful rays of light in the distance, depicting 7 colors. He realized he had those 7 colors on his head. As he kept gazing at the shimmering arc in the sky, his eyes closed, taking him to an imaginary world. In this imaginary world, he found himself on a cloud with a book about science in his hand. Let's find out what SPIKBOW discovers in this book about science. As he opens the book, on the first page there is a question. What is a rainbow? The 7 arcs depicting 7 colors is called a rainbow. The 7th arc in the rainbow is the color violet. A very famous scientist who was also an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and an author named Sir Isaac Newton labeled this color in 1672. This color reminds me of an onion, an eggplant, the beautiful lavender flower, and an amethyst precious stone. My mum has a pendant with an amethyst stone on it. He then questioned himself, who is a scientist? SPIKBOW reads on and finds out. A scientist is someone who conducts scientific research to advance knowledge in an area of interest. Scientists are people who made some incredible discoveries and inventions. Some people can look deep into the sky and discover something, and some other people can look deep into the ocean and discover something. That could be me, exclaimed SPIKBOW. I enjoy looking deeply at something and have always enjoyed learning more about what I see or what I find, stated SPIKBOW interestingly. Let's learn about a few scientists and their discoveries. SPIKBOW will read about Sir Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, Marie Curie, and Albert Einstein. Sir Isaac Newton was a scientist who researched on light. He invented the reflecting telescope. He loved to put plain sunlight through prisms and watch it change color. He identified the 7 colors of the rainbow. Of his rainbow experiment, Newton mentioned that he had projected white light through a prism into a wall and had a friend mark the boundaries between the colors, which he then named violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. What is a prism? Asked SPIKBOW to himself, and he read on. SPIKBOW was quite intrigued with all this information and was eager to learn more. A prism is a 3-dimensional shape with identical ends called bases and flat sides called faces. The shape of the base tells you what type of prism it is. For example, in this picture, it is a triangular prism. I love the way the light passing through the prism depicts a rainbow. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Let's move on to learning a little bit more about the other scientists, smiled SPIKBOW. This is super informative. I hope your brains aren't hurting, boys and girls, giggled SPIKBOW. Next is a famous scientist called Charles Darwin. He was an English scientist who studied all about nature. After that is Marie Curie, who was a Polish and recognized French physicist who discovered radioactivity. Radioactivity is when very small particles in objects give out energy. Radiation is energy that moves from one place to another. For example, short radio waves called microwaves are used to cook microwave ovens. Warm objects like the sun give out heat radiation like the sun heats the earth. This is a super fact, said SPIKBOW. Let's read about one more scientist, grinned SPIKBOW. I think I've heard of this next scientist before. His name is Albert Einstein. Often people tell me, stop behaving like Einstein, SPIKBOW. He laughed to himself. Einstein was a German scientist. He did not speak until he was 4 years old. What? That's surprising. I began talking when I was 2 years old. SPIKBOW was quite shocked. This scientist enjoyed maths and physics. Which are your favorite subjects, I wonder? Have a little think. Maybe you could grow up and be a scientist one day. Albert Einstein invented a very famous equation. Now, are you ready, boys and girls? We need to put our science thinking caps on and just give a little wiggle to our brains because this is some important information. Okay, let's switch on that key. Perfect. The equation is E is equal to mc squared. What? What does E, M and C mean? E stands for energy, M stands for mass, and C stands for the speed of light. An object like a ball has the same amount of energy as it has mass, so that energy can move at the speed of light super fast. Energy and mass are the same thing and they are related to each other by a constant, and the constant is the speed of light. What? This makes no sense to me. I think I shall learn more about this equation when I grow up. Do you want to jiggle your brain a little bit? Because that was really confusing. Never mind. Sometimes we can even read about things and learn about them when we grow up. Let's move on and read about the rest of the colors of the rainbow. The sixth arc is the color indigo. It is a deep and rich color close to blue. The word indigo comes from the Latin for Indian, as the dye was originally imported to Europe from India. When I see this color, I can think of the night sky in the mid-evening. It also reminds me of delicious, juicy blueberries, said SPIKBOW. The fifth arc is the color blue. Blue represents the connection to water. I look at this color and I can imagine the ocean, the vast seas, the exotic, colorful marine life and the ocean waves, said SPIKBOW with a broad grin. I could get submerged in this color. It makes me feel so peaceful and cool, said SPIKBOW. Green is the fourth colored arc of the rainbow. Green is for love and health. The feeling I get when I look at green is when I'm lying in the grass amongst nature and when my arms are wrapped around the trees and the green leaves blowing across my face. It also reminds me of an alligator swimming in a lake or a beautiful cactus plant growing in the desert. Yellow represents the brilliance of the sun. The shining star beaming onto my face, its bright yellow color making me feel happy and joyful. I can imagine eating a yellow ripe banana or licking the egg yolk at breakfast time. Orange is the second arc. It represents creativity and the ability to enjoy oneself. Oh, I think my favorite color should be orange, said SPIKBOW, as I enjoy being creative and I love everything about myself, grinned SPIKBOW proudly. Each day to me is like a dream and each moment I like to cherish forever. Finally, last but not the least, the first arc in the rainbow, boys and girls, is the color red. The red color stands for passion, vitality, and enthusiasm. I see the color red as being strong and having a powerful outlook towards the world. I think of roses and cranberries and sweet round cherry tomatoes. What can you think of? As he relishes the taste of the red tomatoes in his mouth, his eyes open and he's back in his garden at home. Wow! I learned so much today. Hope you learned something too, boys and girls. I feel so lucky to have all the 7 colors of the rainbow on my head. Yippee! He screamed with joy. Hope you enjoyed this beautiful tale. SPIKBOW is asking you, boys and girls, that he hopes you enjoyed this story just as much as me and Insi have enjoyed writing it. So if you enjoy my stories and if you like listening to my stories, all you have to do is share it with your friends and just click the subscribe button below and give me a like. Thank you so much.